Good morning. Today is Tuesday, December 3rd. This is Wake Up with KERA News, and I'm Andrew Garcia. We can expect clear skies today with temperatures reaching the upper 50s. Those same temperatures will drop down to the mid-40s tonight, and rain is expected tomorrow morning. Texas health groups are worried that Robert F. Kennedy Jr.'s presidential cabinet nomination could worsen vaccine hesitancy. How the federal policy will affect us here in Texas, that's all after today's news. Tarrant County commissioners are scheduled to vote today on settling another lawsuit about alleged mistreatment in the jail. The family of Kelly Matson could get almost $800,000. Matson is intellectually disabled and has a severe seizure disorder. The lawsuit alleges Matson was left to seize and fall in her cell for days, leading to serious injury. The Texas Supreme Court will hear arguments today in a capital murder case involving two Harris County men. One of the accused was 16 years old when he was arrested for his role in the fatal shooting of a man during an alleged drug deal. But prosecutors waited to bring charges against the unnamed suspect until he was 18, moving the case to an adult criminal court. The state's highest court will decide whether the suspect should have been charged as a juvenile instead. Texas public health experts say they're worried about misinformation that could come if Robert F. Kennedy Jr. heads the U.S. Health and Human Services Department. As KERA's Kaylee Broussard reports, they fear President-elect Donald Trump's cabinet pick could worsen vaccine hesitancy, including here in Texas, where skepticism over medically backed vaccinations has long existed.
There's still a lot of unknowns about Robert F. Kennedy Jr.'s plans when it comes to public health. Kennedy told NPR the morning after the election that the federal government won't take vaccines away from anybody, but
right now, the science on vaccine safety, particularly, has huge deficits in it. We're going to make sure that those scientific studies are done and that people can make informed choices.
Kennedy has a history of repeating false information about vaccines, including that they cause autism. Trump's blank check to Kennedy to, quote, go wild as HHS secretary has many Texas health groups concerned for what comes next.
If the political climate stays the course, we will see challenges to the few vaccine requirements that remain intact.
Terry Burke heads the Houston-based Immunization Partnership. At a recent vaccine symposium, Burke said experts fear cuts to agencies like the Food and Drug Administration and more aggressive protection of religious objections to health policies. There's also heightened worry for children in schools. Immunization rates nationwide have declined slightly in recent years.
The boogeyman in all of this is the removal of school requirements for vaccines, a public health cornerstone that has protected our children's health for more than half a century.
Kennedy might not be able to ban vaccinations outright, but he could put up roadblocks to vaccine requirements. Jennifer Cates with the health policy nonprofit KFF says he can also impact messaging surrounding vaccines.
They're just recommendations, so states still have to choose to follow those or use them in different ways, but it matters what the public health agencies say. It matters if they come out with a recommendation or not.
Texas has had its share of vaccine restrictions surrounding COVID-19. State law bans public and private employers from requiring vaccinations against the virus. Public health agencies that get state funding are also banned from advertising COVID-19 vaccines and boosters. Vaccine hesitancy existed before COVID, but Dallas County Health Director Dr. Philip Wong says skepticism about that vaccine has transferred to other shots that have been around for much longer.
When was the last time you saw a polio case? And it's because of vaccinations, and people forget that. And so they're so successful, people now start thinking, well, do we still need these? But they forget what it was like.
Texas recorded nearly 4,000 cases of polio in 1952 before the vaccine was available. There have been no reported cases in the state in nearly 30 years. Texas parents can opt their kids out of required vaccines for diseases like polio and measles. It's what's known as a conscientious exemption. Those exemptions sat at around 1.5% a decade ago. Now, some 3.6% of Texas kids have them.
Some of those percentages may sound small, but sometimes they're like in these pockets of populations where that is really concentrated. You don't get that same herd immunity protection.
Huang also fears the misinformation that could come from the next administration.
If they're not promoting the science and the actual information that's out there, then that just further erodes trust, spreads fear.
But Huntsville physician Dr. Lane Aina says some patients will always be skeptical no matter who's in the White House.
And you're never going to get everybody to do a vaccine, ever. But you try to not let it matter as much who's in the White House and matter more who's in the clinic. And try to look at it from the point of education. And these people are just wanting to look out for themselves and their kids.
Aina tries to get to the root of a patient's hesitancy with one question: why? From there, he says he can help them work through any misinformation.
That was KERA's Kaylee Broussard reporting. The Dallas Stars defeated the Utah Hockey Club last night with a score of 2-1. They'll take on the Kings tomorrow night. And the Mavericks play the Minnesota Grizzlies tonight at the American Airlines Center. Get into the holiday spirit with Christmas on the Square tonight in Mesquite. Enjoy free hot cocoa and cookies, Christmas tree lighting, a gift market, and more. For more information and other things to do, visit kera.org/calendar. Thank you so much for listening to Wake Up with KERA News. I'm your host, Andrew Garcia. The show is produced and edited by Shardae White and Bekah Morr. For more news in your inbox, visit kera.org/wakeup. There you can subscribe to the Wake Up with KERA News newsletter. That's written by our colleague, Catherine Hobbs. Connect with us on Facebook, Instagram, and also TikTok at KERATX, and we'll see you tomorrow.